bro.
Everybody, welcome on this beautiful day. We family talk, another episode with myself, Chef Jimbo.
You got B in the corner.
Nick downstairs.
And Nate right beside him.
And in this episode, we have an open forum. We're gonna have multiple guests. The first segment of this forum that we're gonna be talking about Master P, Baron Davis, and what this means to not just the Black community, but to everybody who aspires to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Second, we have what did you take from 2020? Everybody has their own views, their own perspectives, but what did you take from 2020? The third and last segment is gonna be something, man. It's the Capitol riot on the Capitol, the riot in DC that took everybody by storm. Well, probably not
some of us.
Some of us.
Yeah, not the CIA and the FBI. They knew, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm sure that'll be brought up.
Of course. But this is what we're gonna be talking about coming up.
It's family talk. Let's discuss it.
All right. We back.
We back.
With a special guest. Another addition to Family Talk.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rapid returns, aka aka my brother. I could call him a brother and a friend.
I'm Impact today.
Impact. Today. Okay. Matter of fact, before we get. You want to go ahead and talk about Impact for a little bit? Or you want to do it at the end of the show before you get over?
You the host. I'm just following instructions.
All right, then. Hey, listen, I like that, brother. Before we get started, go ahead and tell the people about Impact a little bit, brother.
Well, Impact is a mentoring and a coaching organization that I personally had the ideal from. And of course, just from working with Jimmy and our other brother Howard, we just kind of, morphed into a men's group as well. And so what we do is we come together just to help the men and the people in the community, because I feel like, in order for us to be able to help the community, we have to first help ourselves and, put ourselves in position to be successful. That way we feel more comfortable reaching out and helping other people. So Impact is an acronym on how we can become impactful in our own lives and in the community as well. So M is for mentality, P is for potential, A is for attitude, C is for character, and T is for transformation. So I feel like these are all the things that if you apply the right personality, potential, attitude, character, and transformation in any aspect of your life, you'll have a huge impact.
Beautiful. I like that.
Okay.
Beautiful. Adrian, y'all got like a website or anything that y'all got going on? So just to say, if somebody need to get in contact with you guys, how do they go about doing that?
We do have a website. It's under construction, so I'm not really giving it out just yet. It's just for people that really know. It's still being put together. So, but yeah, we do have a website coming. It's going to be forimpact.com.
Okay, perfect. I like it, man. I like it.
But you can reach us on Facebook. We do have a Facebook professional page, so you can link up with us that way. And we meet and we come together in Bradenton. So if you're ever in the Bradenton area, we come together every third Sunday, which tomorrow is going to be our third Sunday. So we'll be meeting at 5:00.
All right, perfect. I love it. Jimbo, what's on the table, bro?
All right. Hey, Brent B, while I talk about this, could you add the matter of fact, hey, go ahead and start us off. I'm gonna add the link so that if anybody want to join, and then I'll pick back up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's some news circling around Reebok. Master P and Baron Davis purchasing Reebok. Man, what are y'all thoughts? And first of all, what are y'all thoughts about them purchasing Reebok? And Reebok is a high brand product that stands in company with Nike and Adidas, etc. What is y'all thoughts on that Reebok purchase for one by Master P and Baron Davis? Anybody can chime in on that.
So I think it could be a good purchase for them, you know, the rebranding and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Jimmy was talking before the show, like it's gonna have to be a lot of rebranding. I know people will probably start purchasing it more because it's gonna be like a black owned thing, and they might, you know, leave certain things alone to start, you know, make a move to help that situation out. And I know I purchased a few Iversons myself, and I still do. So I think it's a good look.
Yes, sir. I think especially, I know I read something about Master P or Baron Davis. One of them saying it. Don't quote me on which one said it, but they want to make Iverson like how Jordan is for Nike. You know what I'm saying? So Iverson, when you say Reebok, Iverson's name is probably the name that comes up first. But you know, with them purchasing it, I think that'll be good, especially for the black community to see that there's African Americans going out there doing what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Purchasing big companies, having their foot in that circle, along with, like I said, people like Nike and Adidas, New Balance, having their foot in that circle and being a part of something that people don't look at us as African Americans being a part of. So I think it's an awesome thing. I hope the deal gets done. I have Iversons myself. I have Reebok products myself. So
You're welcome.
Yeah. He said you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, because he purchased me some Iversons for Christmas a year ago. So Iverson, my favorite player. I've always liked Reebok. We had Reebok growing up in school, so I think it's a good look. You
And
know
what it was 2 for $75 or 2 for $80?
Something like that.
Bring it back.
Something like that. Bring it back and come back strong. So
right.
Nick, what's your thoughts on it?
I was talking to a coworker the other day, and I was just like, if Master P and Baron Davis do this, I'm gonna start spending my money with Reebok. I mean, y'all know I don't buy shoes anyways. I'm always
So why you say you gonna spend your money with Reebok?
Nah, he gonna wait for me to spend my money and then come wear my shoes.
Nah, cause I mean, you gotta shop with your people. I mean, I feel like you got shop with everybody, but when somebody like that come up on the scene and try and make something bigger themselves, I mean, they're already big, but in the shoe game, I feel like we should shop with them and put our money towards them, and they'll probably do the same on the back end when they come back in, like in the community or whatever. So, but I'm with Nate. If they do get it, they really gonna have to do some branding because Reebok hasn't been doing anything lately. I mean, like Brandon, one of y'all said there ain't no commercials on Reebok out there, and they just recently started doing Allen Iverson shoes again. So mixing it with James Harden. So I mean, I think they need to do something before it slows down. I mean, it has slowed down.
Yeah, Reebok slowed down a lot, a whole lot. Adrian, what you think, man?
Well, it's just a coincidence. I just bought some Reeboks a couple weeks ago. RVKs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They were a little fashionable. So I love Master P and what he does, you know, for the community and some of his history and where he come from and how he try to promote businesses and help other people and stuff like that. I love that. But we all know that and I think it'd be a great for Reebok if they do this, because Master P alone is a great business mind.
Right.
Now, the flip side of that, of course, is that with me personally, I work hard for my money, so it's just not going to go just to anything. And you guys, I know you guys say, yeah, we got to support black businesses, but when it come down to it, if the shoe ugly, you're not going to get it.
No, that's
Not
true.
at all. Not at all.
That's true.
That's the bottom line. And some of the things that Master P does, it works just for the hood or for that, you know, like he has a chip. I remember seeing that he had like a chip line where he had Mystical or all these different rappers on the chip bags,
Yeah.
right? Different flavors. Y'all ever see that?
Yeah.
So I thought it was great, but I ain't buying that one of them because I'm not into the hip hop chips like that.
Hip hop chips. No, I haven't bought one of them neither. I mean, it's good that he's doing it for, you know, the black community, but you know, I ain't finna go rush to buy no chips because Mystical.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's gonna be the same thing with the shoes. We're not, you know, if the product comes out and it looks nice and it's durable and it's, you know what I'm saying, it does what it says, then obviously we'll purchase it and use it. But if it doesn't meet, you know, each individual's criteria, what they view as a nice shoe or what they want to use it for, then it's going to struggle. Right. But one thing it's doing is bringing Reebok to everybody's mind again, which is good. You know, people are talking about it, and you know, and bringing in Allen Iverson is cool, you know, as well. I mean, I would think that he would try to go after, you know, eventually a young star, a young superstar that's coming in the NBA that has potential. So, you know, eventually I think they'll probably do that. But overall, I think it's definitely a great look for Reebok. If nothing else, it's just going to get it in people's minds. Now, as far as benefiting the black community, I'm a little technical when it comes to that, because just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that, you know, the majority of it is going to get that message, because they're, you know, 50 Cent did it. You know, there's all these other people ahead of us that merged with huge companies and made millions of dollars. And yet still we have people with the same mentality in the community. So unless the community changes, it don't matter if either one of us become millionaires or merge with different things. But however, it is a great idea, and it is inspiring to young entrepreneurs to say, hey, you know, I should look to do big things in my life, such as Master P was able to merge with Reebok or purchase Reebok. Maybe I can, you know, do something similar. So in that aspect, it is a good look.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimbo, what you think? I ain't heard nothing from you.
Oh man! All right. First off, before I get into that, listen to everybody who's listening. We have 4 viewers. We'll have more before the end of the show. Don't worry. But
I like that confidence. I like that boost of confidence.
Asian, that lion mentality, right?
Say what?
That lion mentality, man.
You know it.
But to all of our viewers, listen, if you're looking at this on Facebook, do us a huge favor. Please. The link, if you want to join in on the conversation of any conversation that we're having today and in the future, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff. But also,
let us know what's on y'all mind, man. Let us know.
Go to our comment section. We put the actual link that you can call in, either show your face or an audio call, so that you can give us your point of view, like B said. Now going into, I just want to give a little. I did some research on this, and I thought was pretty good to know about this whole Reebok Adidas thing. This was Reebok was purchased by Adidas in 2018, when at that time, 2006. 2006. Mm-hmm. At that time, Reebok was the 3rd biggest shoe and athletic brand in the world at that time. And they bought them for $3.6 billion. The CEO, they have a new CEO since 2016, and ever since he became the CEO of Reebok, he didn't want to sell. He still doesn't want to sell. I found that out, which is very interesting to me. And I'm guessing he believes in it. You know what I'm saying? And probably his job is on the line too. But that's neither here nor there. But the investors, the backers, the board, they want him, and Adidas, they want him to sell it. He's fighting with them, but they pretty much told him by March of 2021 they want this sold. And another thing to know that Master P, he is not the only person that him and Baron Davis and their business partners, they're not the only ones that's in this race. There are a couple, like 2 other companies that's in this race. So that'll be interesting to see who pulls this off. But they're selling it for $2.4 billion, and they purchased it for $3.8 billion. I went to Bloomberg. Bloomberg said in 2020, Adidas has reported 42% of revenue loss from Reebok since they purchased it back in 2006.
You said revenue loss?
Yes.
Jesus.
42%. And that's why they're like, get this off our books. We're done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're done with it. Like 42%. I can't even imagine how much that is if you actually do the real math.
It's a lot. I don't think nobody gonna really want to do the math, but that just to have a 42% loss, it's almost half of your business. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. So I mean, with that being said, can Master P and whoever's going in this with them, can they, and this is piggybacking off of what Adrian said, can they even with buying the company, can they even grow from where they're at? And then also piggybacks on what Nick's saying about remarketing and all that type of stuff. Can they even have the floor front to even do that? What y'all think about them even have the floor front to even do that?
I mean, they could do it. They just gonna have a time doing it by getting designers designing new things, marketing, like Adrian said, putting faces on it. If you're gonna put Allen Iverson on it, that's cool and everything, but everybody's not watching, don't know who Allen Iverson is because of the age difference. So you have to bring new people in for the younger people. And also, like you said, the shoe ain't good. Like, ain't nobody buying it. So they got to make sure there's somebody there to make some good shoes.
Right.
To compete with the Jordans and the Adidas and the Under Armour and all that kind of stuff.
How do you even compete with those? How do you compete with Michael Jordan and Nike and Under Armour? Especially with Under Armour, they starting to get a nice following too as well. I know they got Joel Embiid and Steph Curry over there.
I feel like they got a nice following, but like them shoes ain't too good. You know what I mean? I mean, they good for the younger generations. I call them like Nickelodeon kids because they wear all types of colors.
Yeah.
Oh no, like some of us older cats, we like, just a plain, nice, decent shoe, maybe like 2 colors on it or whatever. But these shoes these days, I mean, y'all seen Kingston shoes, right? Probably got like 5 different colors on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rock nothing like that. I mean, if he can, salute to him, but I'm not doing it. I mean, like you said, you gotta compete with the Jordans and then put a good face on it. Now they put like LaMelo Ball on one of them shoes, it might be a nice hit. But if they're not trying to reach out for nobody,
I don't know about LaMelo.
Huh? A lot of kids like that boy. A lot of kids like him.
He's sweet.
Melo shot you a text message or something?
Huh?
He shot you a text message, told you to put that out like that.
I wish you did.
I just bought some Steph's, some Currys, and balled in them, and they feel pretty good. But I'm with you though. I didn't get the kind that got a whole bunch of different colors though.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. But I do see some of them and they look nice. It's just changing. The style is changing, so you just have to keep up. We're us older guys is no longer the majority.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of younger kids and all these athletes, so they're into that. And so in order for a business to continue and to strive and to thrive, it has to be able to keep up with the times and what's going on. So
Right.
we can't be stuck in the past. So we have to be willing to change. And so
Right.
that's what Reebok is going to have to do. That's what they're going to have to do. Knowing Master P's style, he usually merges it with hip hop some type of way. And I mean, hip hop has grown so much and is in everything. So I think that'll be a good look, depending on how it's done. You know what I'm saying? But and then of course you want to make a shoe that you can hoop in, you can play basketball in.
Yeah.
Because we're still playing ball here. And if you get out there and your feet is hurting or it's too flat and you can't stay with it, then you're gonna get bad reviews.
Right. Right. And that's what they're gonna be battling, like Nate said, getting designers.
Right,
Yeah.
because you don't want no big baller shoe brand that's gonna fuck on you. You know what I mean? You just like ain't nobody want that. Huh?
Talking about Jimmy Boy right now.
Get on big bowling now.
That's one brand I am not supporting.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like they put a huge price tag on that shoe too. I mean, the price tag on that shoe versus how it looks, I don't know how it feels, but it's crazy. Like when me and Jimmy was working together when they came out with that shoe, and Jimmy said if he had the money, he would have bought some.
Yeah.
I said,
Jimmy, I would have slapped you with them shoes.
Big
Them shoes was terrible, man.
Did you have a pair?
The big baller brand?
Yeah.
No, but I did.
So how you know they was terrible?
Bro, them things was terrible.
How you know they was terrible?
They
was
were
tearing
ugly,
up at
Jimmy.
the
They was
seams,
ugly, Jimmy. They was ugly.
Jimmy, them was no good.
And they was charging $300 for the shoe.
Listen, dude, Michael Jordan costs $200. What's the difference? You might as well buy it.
Jimmy, I got.
It's okay when Michael Jordan do it though.
Jimmy, I got $200 pair of shoes by Jordan, and none of them has fell apart like the big baller shoes has.
The big baller shoes.
How you know they fell apart? How you know they fell apart?
Because I seen a review. No, the dude bought them because he wanted to support them. They came in and they tore apart in less.
Listen. Let's stop all this foolishness. What matters is this. They have improved their shoes. They have improved their brand. They have a whole new direction that the business is going in, and they are doing a whole lot better than what they're doing. Okay, but anywho,
no,
we have a comment right here that we.
Oh, Jimmy, you gonna do that, Jimmy? You gonna do that?
No, because Nate coming with the job. What? What's up, Nate?
Oh, Nate from you can go into presenting now. There you go. You gotta go into presenting now.
What's up, sis? All right. She said, I think the new ownership can increase share price.
No, that can be potentially true with the share prices. I definitely think that with Master P doing this, it's going to be more so for the lower communities. Or I mean, the share prices would be competitive. My opinion.
Yeah, but also too, another reason why I think that this is going to be great because like Adrian said, everything that Master P does for the hood. But I also heard a whole nother interview with Master P when he said like his whole goal of this is you have all of these corporations, Walmart, Nike, all of these big corporations. The Black community and Hispanic community were pouring millions and billions of dollars into them, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything to put back into our community, but either in terms of schools, bettering our schools, our infrastructure, or just whatever the case may be. And Master P said, which I know is true, he does it all the time. He constantly gives things to the community to help the children, the elderly. There's also have been times where if he knows someone is in really, really serious help, I've seen him, whether he did it for sure or not, I've seen him give people money and pay for some of their bills, you know what I'm saying, pay for somebody's college tuition. And he said that he wants to take his plan of what he does for Mignotti's and all of his other businesses, he always puts a certain from the revenue that his company gets. He always puts a certain percentage to the side to give back to the community in whatever way he possibly can. Even if he goes to other communities, he partners with leaders of that community. Like, hey, I want to do something for your city, for your county, or whatever the case, and this is what I want to do, and I want us to do a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's great because I think Master P will do it because I don't know if y'all remember, Master P had his own shoes, his own signature shoe with Converse in the 90s.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, when he was playing with the Raptors.
Yeah, the P Miller shoe line.
Where they at now?
They're no longer here. They're no longer here. He does. Don't get on Master P, bro.
Nobody gotta ask the hard questions.
That's what I said. Adrian said that for a reason. like where are they now?
You guys are so focused on the past. Let's focus on now.
But because of the past is why we're here now, though.
No, Mignotti.
The past helps what's going on right now.
So look, I agree. Master P does a lot in the community,
right.
Definitely for his people and others. So, and that's good. But when it comes to shoes and fashion and stuff like that, people support from a distance. If you have an event, people show up. If you want to tune in to a show, or we support like that. But when it comes to actually spending your money on something, clothing wise, that we're gonna walk around in and people see us. It's going to have to look a certain way. It's going to have to appeal to us. And so that's the question. And I believe that there is a style that Reebok can morph into that will draw people to it. It's just a matter of, do they have the staff, the creators, are they creative enough to do that? And only the future will tell.
Right.
So the future, it's because Allen Iverson alone, let's face it, Iverson is old. Him alone,
right,
trying to catch up to Michael Jordan, that's difficult.
It's gonna be real. Iverson, and this is just my opinion. Iverson carried Reebok for so long when he was playing in the NBA. He literally carried the company, in my opinion. And to bring him back, like Adrian said, he's old now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can speak in Allen Iverson in the conversation, but you can't really put him next to Michael Jordan, what they're doing for Nike. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be extremely tough. I pray Master P and Baron Davis and whoever the other shareholders are in it, I pray they have some success. I really do pray they have some success. It's just, in my opinion, it's going to be real tough to bring. It's like bringing Reebok out of the grave. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been Lazarus. They've been buried, in my opinion. Good, Dante.
Hey, but listen, what about the big three? If somehow if Master P can talk to Ice Cube and they can form because the big three is the new league that's going on, so you can form a Reebok shoe that has to do with the big three.
That's what brother on here, man.
What you say, Jimmy?
This brother on here, man. Right there.
Highly intelligent. We got a salute for the
oh my God.
highly intelligent. But no, that makes sense because the big three kind of surrounds the older, because it's a league for older players.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If Master P was the get in contact with Ice Cube and do some type of partnership, because Ice Cube was striving right before the pandemic happened.
Yeah,
the league was striving.
Yeah,
they were doing all they can. They were doing a fantastic job. Allen Iverson was a part of the league at one point.
Yeah.
So that would be excellent if Master P can hook up with somebody like Ice Cube and
he has ownership in that too. That's why he's not with him anymore. He got part ownership.
Who?
That's why he stopped playing. He got part Allen.
Oh, he part ownership in the big three?
He got part ownership in the big three with Ice Cube.
I didn't know that.
I was with a random interview I caught, and because they was asking why he's not playing anymore. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a part owner." So he said, "I'm focusing more on the branding and ownership and things like that."
That's what's up. I actually like the big three. So
was they touring? Did they tour?
Yes, they tour and go to different stadiums throughout the country.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, so I mean, Master P hooking up with Big Three would be awesome. It would be totally awesome. So.
Dante said they can do it.
How often y'all watch the Big Three?
I mean, they haven't been on because they
Pandemic.
they canceled it because of the
No,
pandemic.
I'm saying before this happened, how often was y'all watching it?
Me, I would watch it whenever I saw something on.
Yeah, whenever I saw it on. There wasn't nothing I was rushing to watch, but if I saw it on TV and I'm doing something, I just left it on the channel and just
Right.
listened or peeked at it every now and again. I think with Ice Cube starting that, it was awesome for older NBA players that felt they still had it to enter into that league and still showcase what they can do. Like, I mean, you seen Gilbert Arenas on there, Al Harrington.
Still playing.
Yeah, I said Horford, I meant Harrington. But it was just a nice avenue for NBA players that couldn't continue to play in the NBA, or I shouldn't say couldn't continue. The NBA didn't want them anymore. It's a good avenue for them to still play and showcase their talent. So
yeah. So next, before I go on, anybody else got anything to say?
No, I think that's it on that. Yeah.
All right. So next we're gonna go just a smidge it deeper on something. I think this is gonna be an even greater conversation regarding 2020. I've heard. Only thing that I've heard consistently on social media, the news, and people who I work with and people who I run into, 2020 was such a bad year. Oh, 2020, but my perspective on 2020 is so different. I don't think it was a bad year. I think number one thing my great grandmother used to always tell me when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? She used to say, I'm going to kind of impersonate her voice, but I miss and I love her. She'd be like, Jimmy. I miss that lady. Elder Motley, man. I miss that lady so much. Like, Jimmy, let me tell you what. Anytime you wake up, listen. Anytime you wake up on this side of the ground, on this side of earth, it's a blessing. No matter what's going on in your life.
Uh-huh.
And I never really took that into real big consideration until I went to college, and then my whole perspective started to change. You know what I'm saying? That's when it started to like come alive, like it was in me, because she used to tell me that. And then I got started life in college alone off, and that stuff started coming up and boiling up, and that's how I started living my life, and that started shaping my perspective, man, to see things differently.
So how was your perspective on 2020?
Hold on, let's see what Melissa said real quick. Wise and calculated. Oh yeah. I think Master P will do a good job.
You gotta read it out loud for the people who can't. Is it the listeners? You got people that's just listening that can't read it, or
no? They can see it. She said, "Laugh out loud at bringing Reebok
out to breath."
Got to be really intentional with marketing and keeping the main thing integrity. Reebok is a known brand, and it is established. New ownership means having fresh perspective, but you got to be wise and calculated with the changes. Right. I think P can really do this, and I agree.
I think he can. I think he can.
And P, like you said, P is smart enough that he'll get the right people in place.
Oh yeah,
because he really believes in team. You know, he really believes in everybody, and Adrian could. I know him too. Really believes in everybody has a part, and me and P had this conversation. Play with everybody's strengths.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I think P can do that for sure.
He'll do it most definitely. He'll definitely do it. But back to the 2020 thing, Jimmy. What's your perspective, or what do you take from it? Because I know you said you hear everybody saying it was a bad year. You said it was a good year, so why was it a good year for you?
Daddy, my food tickling me too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my daughter was talking to me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, so you know, I don't think 2020 was a bad year. I can say I did have goals that wasn't completed this year, but the goals that I made were kind of, if I would tell some people, you know, it was kind of out there. They'd be like, "You think you was gonna get that done?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, you know, I got faith and believe that it can happen." But I would say what 2020 meant to me was it exposed a lot of things within our world, within our nation, regarding, you know, government and things like that, ourselves, government, our community, leadership.
It's easy to make popsicles out of
Hey,
this.
y'all go in that bitch.
Always at work.
She wants a hug. So, and I know a lot of people look at like, you know, adversary. Everybody look at, you know, challenges and things differently, but you know, I look at even like the book of James say, you know what I'm saying? I look at it as an opportunity, and listen to Dr. Miles Monroe, you know, and he helped change my perspective to him in the book of James. I don't know where she's at, baby.
Can you call her?
No. It a lot of things. What you laughing at?
No.
Yeah, Dante, them babies, yeah.
I told you. I guess I said Jimmy was gonna have one of them pause moments, but he just said no straight like that.
You know, I was gonna be like, listen, don't you? I told
Them
you,
babies, yeah.
You know, but she all right. Dante talking about the babies. So, but 2020, it showed me a lot of stuff about myself, things that I thought I had more control of in life, and then reality comes like, you know, it showed the imperfections, the character flaws. I speak for myself and myself that I'm like, okay, I really have to pay attention to this and to that, because I thought I was good in this area, but I really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And some people might look at that as bad. I look at that as amazing. Even Dante, we got him on the stream right here. He put something up the other day, and he said a lot of people always look at the new year like, oh, what am I going to add? What am I going to add? And he gave a different perspective of how I look at this year coming up. What can I subtract? Because sometimes subtracting adds to your life as well. And I thought that was pretty deep. Hopefully we can get Dante on today, you know, whenever he get a chance, and he can break that down a little bit more. And I would say another thing with me, I genuinely learned this year. I think God has had me I think he's been working me up to it, but I would say this year was the year where I genuinely can say that I learned to genuinely care about not just me, my family, people that's close to me and my church family, but this year I prayed more this year for other nations and other things than I ever have in my entire life. And I've not just that, but I've been attentive. I've been looking, reading, and finding out what's been going on in other countries. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think I look at that as a plus too, because like, you know, it just takes on the selfishness. I mean, the selflessness. Because how many Americans you could say that think about what's going on outside of their county or their city, you know what I'm saying? Or even outside the country.
True.
So I would say that, and I would say, you know, 2020 had rough moments. You know, I lost my grandmother. And you know, she taught me a lot of things that has stuck with me, and just like what I told you, you know, be thankful when you wake up, because you know somebody didn't wake up. Right. You know, you woke up, God gave you the chance, and you know to wake up, and somebody didn't get that opportunity.
Right.
And, you know, that's just a little smidgen. I'm not gonna keep going on, but that's a little smidgen of what I took from 2020. I think it was an amazing year, all in all.
Right. So I mean, I go next. And 2020 meant it was a lot for me in 2020. The main thing that I took from 2020 was not taking family for granted. And this is just one of my biggest things. And the reason I say that, because me and Nick and Nate, we lost our father in 2020. You don't want to take family for granted. And I can just speak for myself. I can procrastinate. You know what I'm saying? I can get that gut feeling. I need to call this person, or I need to say what's up to this person. I need to visit this person. And stop procrastinating. And I'll tell y'all a little story about that. And this is, my whole thought of 2020. I was leaving Florida. Me, my girl, and our kids were leaving Florida in July 2020. And going past where my dad was living, I almost didn't stop. I wanted to get home so bad. I almost didn't stop. And it took to my girl to say, hey, we need to stop and at least just see your dad. So we stopped, and I ended up seeing him. And that was the last time I saw him. And I say all that to say this, and this is, like I said, I could just speak for myself. And like Dante just said here, that it was a learning tool. It was a learning tool for me, that not to take my family for granted. And that goes from my mother all the way down to my brothers and my sister, not to take them for granted, knowing that any point in time that they cannot be here. It's by the Lord's willing that they're all here, that we're all, blessed to be around each other, blessed to have this podcast. That's what 2020 basically taught me. I have a million other things, but that was the one that really stuck out for me, is that don't take your family for granted. Don't take even your friends. Don't even take your friends for granted. Because you never know when at one point you're not going to be here, or one point they may not be here. It's just a blessing that we have all of us here today. I feel so grateful to be here with you fellas. So that was one thing that 2020 put on me, and that's something I'll carry for the rest of my life, and not taking my family for granted.
Well, I guess I'll go.
Oh, go ahead.
So 2020 seemed like it was almost like a perfect storm. We had so much stuff happen at one time. I mean, throughout the year. With of course one of the election, and then you had the COVID, and then all the stuff that went along with that. So it just made for a perfect storm, meaning everything came together that ideally people would think that's wrong. And so what I learned from it was a few things. Number one, I learned the power of the government. I don't think a lot of people really knew how powerful the government can be in making people stay home or allowing people to do certain things. It also showed me one of the biggest things, and I think a lot of people learn this also, is the power of media. Just looking at Facebook and the news can really shape your mentality and your attitude and stuff like that, based on what you constantly see and constantly read every day. That was one of the major things, because a lot of people, being that they was at home, was focused on the media. They was always reading and looking at either posts or news, and it just became normal to just kind of put that back out there, whatever it is you came in, and just shape people's head with the fear, with the fear and emotion as well. So that really showed me how powerful media is. And so, but for me personally, 2020 was it was one of the best years that I've had. And what I've learned is that your perspective is going to be based on your mentality, based on your personality. If you are a natural positive person, then you're going to look back or at any given moment and look at the positive things that you can take out of any situation, no matter what's going on. So with me, I'm always a positive person. So I'm always looking for those positive things in any situation. And so, but quite honestly, on the record, as far as the history for me, it's been the best year. We went on like 3 vacations. you know, not taken away from anybody that couldn't go or that had to deal with, you know, the loss of somebody or something like that. But this is just how it was for me. Now we suffered through the COVID, you know, we had it and, you know, family members had it and stuff like that. But all in all, we made the best out of that situation. And so I was able to, like I said, take a few vacations. I was able to continue working and be able to, you know, help other businesses on other business as well, because a lot of grants and loans became available. So I had to shift my business from just doing regular bookkeeping and accounting work to grant writing, helping businesses get grants and get loans and have the paperwork together and stuff like that. So it was definitely a better year for me. But the biggest thing that I've learned, that I would say, if I would have to look back and say, what have you learned in moving forward, is the power of the media. So I'm very careful with who I exchange with, how I accept their information, as you know, as if it was written in stone or if it's the Bible. So, you know, and I talk to Jimmy about this all the time. I have a question that I always ask the person when they're giving me information. And it's simple: is how do you know? If you're telling me something that I'm supposed to believe, where your facts come from? How do you know that what you're saying is going to have the same impact on me? Because I've noticed that a lot of people within my news feed, and they're just regurgitating what other people said and what they've heard from other people without getting the facts. And that really shaped our whole country, even with COVID, on how we're supposed to react to it, or, you know, how it affects us. It's just based on what information you accepted.
Absolutely.
You want me to jump in?
I got it. I ain't gonna be long. So 2020 was I ain't gonna say it was the only downfall of it was losing our pops, and then, you know, the same day that we buried him, we lost our auntie.
Right,
but other than that, man, 2020 was a vacation for me. I mean, my job closed March, and so for me, I left Florida for a while and got to hang out with family. I stayed with our sister in Virginia for a few months, and then stayed with our uncle in North Carolina, and just got to hang out with them a lot more, because before all this started, doing 45, 50 hours a week, sometimes 55 to 60, I ain't really had time to really hang out with nobody or do nothing. It was just always when I'm off, I sleep or go hang out with my god kids and just get right straight back to work. So it was a vacation. Got to hang out with family more often. So like Brandon said earlier, keeping in contact, that's one of the big things I've learned, because I don't keep in contact with nobody. If I don't hit you on a text, I'm definitely not giving you a phone call. So I gotta do better. I'm gonna do better about that. I'm gonna try to do better. So, and that was about it, man. Like I said, short and sweet. It wasn't really a bad year. I got an 8-month vacation, and I got to hang out with some people, and that's about it. And got to see the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hey, but before you go, Nick, hold on. Let's get some of these comments in. Henry Q. Parker said 2020 should have been
family.
And anybody got something to say about that? I that's every year, but I agree with him 100%.
It was like Jimmy said, it was every year is a learning tool. Every situation is a learning tool. Every second, every minute, it can be a learning tool. But 2020 in its own right was a learning tool for the whole world. So I totally agree with that being a learning tool. It'll be a year no one will forget. I could definitely say that. It will be a year no one will forget. I wouldn't say it was a bad year. Like Nate just said, the only downside to that year is the fact that we lost our pops and our auntie the same day we buried our pops. So other than that, for me, 2020 was great. I got I work at home. I don't got to get up in the morning and then put on my GQ outfits to get to work. So I can put on my a t-shirt and some gym shorts and work from home. I get time to spend more with my girl and the kids. And, I mean, 2020 for me, it wasn't bad, you know. And I wouldn't even say losing our pops was bad because I mean, he's not dealing with what we got to deal with no more. My auntie's not dealing with what we got to deal with no more. So I wouldn't want to say that's bad. As a human being, of course, you know, we grieve the losses, but 2020 wasn't bad. It definitely was a learning tool for everybody.
Right. I agree. Real quick, I just wanted to say real quick on that learning thing. Again, just what I repeated, learning about media and how it affects us and how it, you know what I'm saying, and it affects us emotionally and stuff like that. But also just life-wise, like you never know, just like you mentioned that you should not take your family member and your friends for granted, reach out and get in touch with them. But business and career-wise too, you know, start to build a savings because you never know how your life can be affected. I know we've heard these things all the time. You should be saving money, boy. You should be, but we don't listen. But 2020 was the year that if we had listened, a lot of people would have to deal with what they had to deal with.
Exactly.
Because the businesses was closed and you know, jobs was closed and the government, the money didn't come as fast as people needed it to come. So it was like, what am I going to do? I don't have a savings or stuff like that. So that's definitely part of that learning tool is, you know, you got to put some money away. You have to. You should.
I would say as well that when, you know, everybody talking about how hard it is, what came to mind while everybody was talking, I'm out working with Coach LB, and this guy has me doing stretches that I'm like, at first I'm like, dude, like for real, you know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy, and it was very uncomfortable because I never moved my body in ways like that. He got me doing things that I never moved my body in a way like that, and he had me hold it in a weird position, you know, to stretch it out, and I'm feeling muscles that I haven't felt in a long time or even never. But he always has this quote that he tells me. He was saying, I'm you know, as I'm talking to him, I'm still gonna do it, but you know me, I'm gonna talk trash. I'm still gonna do it, but I'm gonna talk trash about it.
Always.
So he was like, Timbo, he said, I promise you I'm gonna get you right, but it's like you just gotta be uncomfortable for it. He just said that it's gonna be uncomfortable because you never do it. He said the more you do it, it's gonna start to get more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta adapt your body, adapt your mindset to this. And I look at that as the same thing for this year. 2020, I wouldn't say it was hard, but for a lot of people, they'll say that it was hard, but it's just really uncomfortable because there was a lot of things that they never really dealt with before.
Yeah.
So
changes.
Yes. And we got Melly here. Oh, anybody got anything else to say?
Yeah, we got to get Nick input. Nick ain't get his input. Jimmy, you kind of stole the show.
So let me get the comments before we go to Nick.
You gotta let my brother go though, bro.
He gonna go. 2020 really showed what people really believe in.
No, that's true. That's true.
I'll keep that up there, and I'll let Nick go, and then we'll comment on that.
Man, just like my brother said, I mean, honestly, the year wasn't bad. I kept working. Trop never stopped. We had, and they was pushing it too. Talking about they out there talking about we got to get juice to the world. You're essential. They're trying to sell it. Now I don't want to be here just as much as the next person, but we never stopped. Like I said, downfall for me was we lost a couple people in our family. So other than that, I mean, I got to go out just a little bit more because I mean, my brothers know that I don't like going nowhere. I just like to save my money just in case stuff like this happen. I mean, we got out quite a bit. Me and my wife, we went to Universal. Me and Jimmy went to Universal. We had great times. We were just hanging out with family a lot. As far as, I mean, what I learned is like keeping in touch with people. I try to call people because I don't like calling people. I don't like texting people. People don't know how to get off the phone. You know, you try to call them, check up on them. My phone call, I want them to be like 5 minutes. I'm just checking up on you. And I want to get off, but you know, they want to see what's going on. So it was a learning experience. Like you said, you got to see what this world is like. A lot of people, you know, put on the grind when everything shut down. It just tell you that you can actually do stuff if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
So, like family just said, the importance of voting. I didn't really know a lot about voting until this year,
Mhm.
and that you know you really should do your due diligence and see what you're really voting for, rather than just voting for people. You gotta do what you need to do. But overall, the year for me was good. I mean, I'm still living, and we still going day by day, so I can't complain.
Bet it on that.
Yeah.
But here
I
is
want to add. I want to add that you guys said some amazing things that because I was fortunate. I didn't lose a family member, but you guys did, and your whole perspective on that is beautiful, and that's what I try to teach to other people that you just have to have, no matter what's going on, have to try to keep a positive perspective on it, and then to help you in the long run. But I just think that your comment about you guys lost somebody, but however they don't have to deal with what we have to deal with. I agree with that 200%. I feel the same way, because ultimately we know that death is built into everything from the beginning. It's just a matter of when it's time, and of course we don't want to go before, or we don't want to go early, but however, it is a natural transition that everybody has to go through. And so it's hard for a lot of people to deal with it, that whole separation and not being able to see that person. But I think that was beautiful the way you guys put that, and it'll help a lot of people put their tragedy or the things that they had to deal with in perspective as well. Because I can't, because I haven't been through that. I mean, I went through it in the past with other family members, but not recently in 2020. So, I just definitely want to appreciate you guys for that.
absolute. We got a new comment up here, Jimmy.
Well, we do, but let's talk about this for a little bit. If anybody got something to say about this one,
2020 really showed that people what people really believe in. I think that's absolutely true. I think a lot of us, not even a lot of us, all of us were tested to see what we actually believe in. To see what media was pulling out or putting out, and how many people were just going along with what media was saying. You know what I'm saying? And it really put a lot of people's faith into question. It put my faith into question. I can only talk for myself. It just really shows on what God is doing and what He's trying to show us, and it's bigger than what people are looking at. This whole situation with 2020, in my opinion, was also bigger than what a whole lot of people was really paying attention to. So Melly, yeah, that's true. 2020 really showed what people really believe in.
It also showed you who was down for you too, to be honest. Because, like, I mean, for me, I ain't had no job. I ain't have, I had a little bit of savings or whatever. But I mean, everybody still looked out. You know what I mean? I even had people from work who would just, 5 months after we closed, and just be like, "Hey, Nate, you good? Just, making sure you straight and all that kind of stuff." And people just, just checking out and reaching on you and just making sure you good, whether you asking for anything or not. They were just making sure you were straight.
Yeah, that's true. It just it depends on at what stage in 2020. Like obviously when we had to do the quarantine and all that stuff, you know, you had people looking out for you. But then when it came to the voting and you stating who you voted for, you could have lost a lot of support then.
You're right, though. You're right.
That'd be
But like I said, like everybody looked out, man.
We had your back, Nate, during 2020. You know, we know what's going on.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate.
But we were still jumping on them though.
He was.
Jimmy, y'all should have heard Jimmy. Jimmy talking about Nate, man. You should have got that check and went back to work.
Bruh, I was like, what you sitting at home for, dog? Like,
I'm talking about we was giving it to Nate. They out here on an 8-month vacation. I'm still at work. Every day working 12 and 16s.
Man, I was out here
working, and they
man,
out
I
here
was out here
chilling.
living, man. I was good, man. Everything was great. I even went to Philly and tried the Philly cheesesteak, and I got to say that probably was the worst Philly cheesesteak I've ever had in my life. For real, like everybody.
Was it the only Philly cheesesteak you had in your life?
That was nah, but that was the only and last one I was gonna have from Philly.
Yeah, but just think about that. If anybody who took a trip in 2020, you had to have loved it because everybody was quarantining and social distancing. So the airplane, the ride was free. When you went to the restaurant, they was only accepting certain people at a time. So it was just like whenever we went, because we went on a few trips too, and you know. We got right in when our time, because you know, obviously you had to make an appointment or something like that, but we did. There was no crowds, there was no long lines like that. It was nice. I'm gonna miss that part of it for real.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when we went to Disney and Universal. You talking about nobody was there. We got to ride everything. Just had a great time. What you say, Jim?
I said that was the first time I went with y'all. I think the second time I went, it was packed. It was packed. But I mean, it was straight.
But those are the things that people don't even look at. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity, like Nick said, go to Universal and Disney, and then there's no lines to do anything. You know, you can go in, do what you want to do, have fun, leave. People don't look at it like that. You know, they look at the negative. There's 2020 had a whole bunch of positives that people don't even talk about.
But that's what Adrian be talking about. Like it's what you see, is what you want to see. People want to see this negativity, so that's what they fix their mind on.
Right. And the media puts out so much negativity, and it's gotten to the point. It's gotten to and people just listen to the media because, of course, everybody thinks that's what the truth is. But it's got to a point where I don't even look at the media. Sometimes I scroll down Facebook and I'm like, man, let me get off Facebook because I don't want to. So, I mean, and even with watching the news, I can't even remember the last time I even watched the news. You know what I'm saying? Just because there's so much negativity and it's very easy for negativity to stream through your mind. So
and get lost in it.
So it's times I can't even remember the last time I watched a newscast. I mean, I keep up with the weather because I stay where a whole bunch of snow is going on. But I got to figure out how I'm gonna drive on these roads. But it's just the media has put something in our minds that this is what it is, and it's detrimental to our mindset. So, and people don't talk about stuff like that. So.
Right.
So we got another comment, but before we read this comment, everybody, once again, just want a quick reminder for those that hopped on later. We don't have the link up on our Facebook, but if you go over to our YouTube page, which is also inside the comments, there's an actual link that you could click on that would allow you to chime in. You could use the audio or you could use your video and audio and chime in and give us your thoughts, your perspective on everything it is that we're talking about so that your voice can be heard. And it's a great segue into Mr. Henry Q. Parker, the importance of voting. Make your voice heard.
Make your voice heard.
But let me tell you what, through the voting process, I don't think anybody's voice is heard.
It's really not. I mean, when you look at the voting, what we do is we vote for somebody else to vote for us. I mean, I think honestly that we should change that, because if four of us vote in one way and then our vote go to another person, he vote the next way. I mean, honestly, we not getting nothing done. But I see we really got to start viewing stuff from like the state and the federal level, and start voting on those levels, because without the House and the Senate and stuff, they the ones who push the agendas and change stuff. So, I mean, I don't know everything about voting. I'm trying to get into it bit by bit, but should listen more in high school.
So listen, well, the importance of voting is, I mean, I know somebody said it earlier that I paid more attention to it than I've ever paid attention to it this past voting segment. But it's very important. Like Nick said, the vote on what the federal those levels and the government in those levels. But I also feel like it's very important in our own communities to vote for the officials in our own communities, because we got to start with ourselves. Adrian said it earlier when he was talking about impact. We got to start with change. We got to start with change within ourselves, and we are the only ones that can help change this world. We can't look at everybody else and just hope that they can help change this world. No, we got to put ourselves out there. These positive men as ourselves on this podcast. We got us as these men using this platform that we have to go out and help change this world within our own communities, and that's what I took from this last voting skew. How important it is for our own communities. We know it's very important, of course, for the world and for our nation, but we got to start within our own communities if we want to impact change.
Yeah, for sure. Just like you guys mentioned it, and even that's Henry. Is that how you say it? Yeah, he mentioned it. Voting at the state level, because those are the things that affect us directly.
Right.
This very, everybody, and again, I'm telling you, this is I believe that this is the media's fault. It's the media's fault because they push more of the presidential election than they do the local elections. And so therefore the local elections that make the biggest impact on us gets kind of pushed aside, and a lot of people don't even vote. They either miss the deadline or they just flat out don't know what's going on, because of all they see is the presidents have got to pick the right presidents. And so if the states or those local politicians do a better job of getting their information out to the local public, the people within their states and their counties and stuff like that, do a better job of reaching those people, then they will have a better opportunity of, electing, the people that we want, and vice versa. We just have to really focus on that. And so, because ultimately, and this is just my personal perspective, is that who's in the office is going to have a minimal impact on me directly, or any of us directly. The biggest impact that we're going to have is going to be our personal mindset and what we do, how we focus on bettering our business or our careers and stuff like that. Yes, the right person in the office can make it easier for us. That's true. I agree with that. But at the core of it, it doesn't deserve the emotion that it got this year. I don't believe that the presidencies between the two and all that publicity and media, it didn't deserve the emotion, the conflict, and the fight that it got, that pushed the people to this year. It didn't deserve all that. All that energy should have been towards local stuff, the people that affect you directly. That's where that energy should have been, more towards your locals at the state level. But that's just my perspective. But I always was within the mindset that it doesn't matter who's in office, because it's going to always be a supply and demand thing. If you creative enough to produce something that a lot of people want, then they're going to look for you, period. They're going to look for you, and the only way you can do that is by focusing on that. Because if you focus, okay, I got the right person in office that I wanted, now what you going to do? Are you going to sit back and see if it start raining money, or if it start raining healthcare, or are you going to sit back and see if it start raining the stuff that you want? That's not going to happen.
Right. That was my point. Yeah, that was my point. Jimmy, you was making those hand motions. Can you explain those hand motions?
The media playing with people's emotions, like they Muppets. And the media controlling people, and it's like
No, you're right.
It's exactly what me and Adrian talk about all the time. Influences, like they have a powerful influence on a lot of people because they're not thinking for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just well, the news say this, or Nancy Pelosi say this, or Donald Trump say this, so it got to be true. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, people listen to what's being said, and those influences can influence a person to do something. So I mean, what Adrian said, he hit it spot on. That was my point. What I was trying to say, you know, we got to start in our own backyard. Of course, we got a president. But what are we gonna do for ourselves? You know, that president is there for the whole nation. He can't walk into our community, into our backyards, and change stuff right away. We are held accountable for changing stuff in our own backyards.
Yeah.
Man,
absolutely.
my bad. I seen Jimmy throwing up gang signs. I can't be associated with all that.
You don't want to be affiliated.
Yeah, man, I had to jump off right quick. My bad. I'm bad.
Hey, I at least I know who down for me now. At least I know.
That's messed up. Oh snap! But I mean, that kind of leads into our next subject here. The Capitol riot that happened about 2 weeks ago. Jimmy already laughing. What's your thoughts about that? It's a lot of thoughts I've had about it, but I need to know what everybody else think. I know me and Jimmy talked about it in our own personal conversations.
Man, I'm gonna save you the time, bro. Listen. Listen. Let me tell you this. If that was an inside job. I don't care what nobody says. Like, this is the Capitol building. Like we said, this is the Capitol building where the people who make the laws, where they have all of their personal laptops, their personal belongings, where they are, you know what I'm saying? And there was little to no security there.
Resistance.
Resistance. Man, Adrian spoke about it too. Like seriously. And it's just so crazy to me. First off, let's talk about this. We'll get to that. It's so much we got to talk about on this one, because this is straight bull job. Inside job.
They didn't think them thugs was gonna act like that.
but look, on the other end too, you got to look at when everything was happening with the Black Lives Matter movement protests, which I just want to let everybody know I don't stand with or agree with. But there you had blacks and other people that walked with the blacks that they were upset with how things were going on. Here you had another dimension to it where you had whites, you know what I'm saying, Caucasians. They were upset with some things that were going on. So here you have two different parties that's upset about some of the same things and some different things, and you like nobody's happy. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody gonna be
happy with what's going on. Exactly. Nobody's happy with what's going on, but the media, you know, they got to put their little spin on it. I you know how they canceled Donald Trump? I wish I could cancel the media. You know what I'm saying? Take them off of all the platforms because they deserve it. They deserve it. They really do.
No, you're right. The media is the one that beefs everybody up and that get everybody riled up. And that, to be honest with you, that's their job to do. Let's just crack it down. That's the media's job.
No, there was a point when actually, you're right, it is their job, but there was a point when truth was actually being put out there. Like people would do research and study on certain things before they report it. But now everybody just want, I need to be the first to report this. You know what I'm saying? Say that I wasn't first. Whether it's right or wrong, we could correct it later if we choose to, but I need to be the first.
It's a dog versus dog game in the media and journalism. So I mean, when they put stuff out, like you're right. I got to be the first one to put it out. We'll fix whatever is being said later. But I agree with Jimmy when I say I feel like that was an inside job, because think about it. A whole bunch of people trying to run up in the White House. We got everybody that defends everything there within 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So you want to run up into the
Nah,
Capitol.
they knew what was going on.
You want to run up to the Capitol. There's 2 or 3 security guards trying to fight off 600 people.
We got to make sure we talk about the black brother that was there by himself in the hallway too.
For real.
He was very sold,
Y'all
man.
set my dog up.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because I went to work the day before it happened, and one of the coworkers was like, you know the good old boys about to storm the Capitol tomorrow, right? And like at first I was like, well, they ain't really got nothing to do with me because I stay in Florida, so I ain't really affected by it. So like, you know what I'm saying? But then like, it ain't no way. I watched the document on Hulu. It was called Attack on the Capitol. And
how they make a documentary out of that already?
I don't know, but it said December 19th was like the day that they set to let people know that they was storming it January 6th or whatever day it was. So like it was almost like a whole month that was, planned, and y'all just took this for a joke. Y'all just thought this wasn't gonna happen. Like what y'all thought was gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Right.
And if I ain't even gonna lie, if I was that brother, I'd have called off of work. I would not have been there. And like if I would know all these people gonna come to the Capitol and storm it like this, and we ain't got no backup. So is it gonna be me and this buddy over here? And ain't nobody else coming? All right.
And that's where it's so messed up. Like we ain't got no backup, ain't no security,
No
security. You mean to tell me ain't no security at the Capitol? Ain't none. We could just walk in there.
Y'all could just walk up in and knock on the door like this.
No, it should have been some type of security, and I feel like it was an inside job as well.
Yeah. So the question is, how inside was it? Like who was at the top?
Ask Jimmy that question.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You can take a stab at it.
A stab at it. Okay, so if we want to take a stab at it, let's say who would benefit from that riot?
I mean, President Trump was the one trying to change votes. I don't know how he thought that was going to happen. Like I said, I watched that documentary, and my man sat up there on that podium and said, Pence is going to get done what needs to get done. I don't know. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to come in here and just change everything? And you just think that it's going to happen that way. So that's where it kind of started at right there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it started at the all the way at the top with our guy.
Yeah. Let's talk about that incitement. Like, do you guys think that he started this? I don't.
Yeah, he had something to do with it. I don't blame him 100%. I give him like 25, 33% of the blame. I don't give him 100%.
Couldn't even. You can't. I mean, I guess you can't. You can't blame him because everybody made their own choices.
That's exactly
right.
what I'm saying.
But he incited it.
I don't think. But I'm sorry, Nick. Go
ahead.
I see this inciting thing. I think that's bull jive. Because if you go back, like real talk, like that's straight jive, and that's horse manure. Because if you go back to, like I say, people do this, but also the media do this. We pick and choose what we want to highlight in life, or what someone else does, or what we do. We pick and choose, because you can go back to the past. You had different Republicans and senators and Democrats. They incited things, especially during the Black Lives Matter thing. You know what I'm saying? They incited, but nobody reported that. Nobody tried to get them out of office. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know me, keep this junk across the board, but because you have this hatred for this man.
So what I'm noticing about Jimmy is loyal to a fault. Like if Jimmy supports you, he gonna support you 200%.
But see, it's not even like
it's written in paper.
I even tell them I don't support anybody. What I don't support the blue or the red. What I support is the truth. And the truth is, why do y'all have this mentality in this area when the same thing was done, but it was on your side, so you just want to go and sweep it under the rug?
That's
not the truth.
But listen to what I'm saying. That what you're saying has nothing to do with the question.
It has everything to do
with the question.
There we go.
You're saying because what about when y'all did this? What about when y'all did that? That has nothing to do with who we think the top of the line is and the fault that has to do with this riot. I voted for the man too. I voted for Trump too. You know that. But however, you know, when somebody come to your office, one of your buildings, and it's not, you know, first of all, you called for it. You know what I'm saying? If you tell the people that, hey, to meet here or meet there, you automatically responsible whatever happens. That automatically puts some blame on you. If I tell us, like if somebody gets on this podcast that y'all invited me to, and I just belittle them and curse them out and stuff like that, y'all responsible for that. Even though I'm responsible for my own personal actions, it's you guys put this thing together.
It's our
so
platform.
Him calling people to meet or protest or do whatever at this particular thing puts him at high fault, either 50% or higher.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't have been there. You would think that they wouldn't have been at that place if he hadn't called for it. They could have went any place else. Maybe they could have went to the library, or they could have went on the street, or they could have went at any other place. But to name a specific place to say, hey, come here and show how you feel about something, you know, you have to take the blame whenever if it goes wrong. That's just how it is. That has nothing to do with what happened in the past, what somebody else did. You know, two wrongs don't make a right. They ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, you know what? Two wrongs don't make it right. It just lets it continue. But moving forward with what you're saying. Moving forward with what you're saying, but
Jimmy.
Listen.
Another thing Jimmy does, and we was all taught this as kids. When you wouldn't go tell on somebody or whatever, and then your parent be like, no, don't tell me what they did. Tell me what you did. Jimmy's that kid that'd be like, no, what they did. No, I get what they did. Tell me what you did. No, but the opposite spectrum, they did.
No, but see, you got it wrong in this one, Nate. You got it wrong in this one.
How so?
Because if you actually go on, I had this conversation with Adrian. I said I pulled up the transcript of what this dude said. And he said, let's protest peacefully.
Where?
Hold on. What you mean? In that speech.
Jimmy, right. He did say that, but he said that after that first.
No. He said that during that speech. During that speech, the day before the Capitol.
You got to pull it up for me.
Listen, because Jimmy sent me the a link. It was sometime last week. He sent me a link and I watched it. And I told Jimmy, you can't blame Trump for what happened, but you can blame Trump for getting that crowd riled up.
Yeah.
Right.
People are already upset that he's not going to be in office. He knows people are upset that he's not going to be in office. He got that crowd riled up. So that's where you got to put a little bit of blame on Trump and be like, hey, you're the president. You're the leader of this nation. You don't do that. You don't get this crowd riled up. And like Adrian said, you went to a specific location. Y'all could have went anywhere else. Y'all could have went to the beach. Y'all could have went y'all could have went to Burger King, McDonald's. Y'all could have went somewhere else and had this peaceful quote unquote protest. Now you're right. He did say have a peaceful riot, but he used the word
riot. There's no such thing as a peaceful riot.
Don't make me look stupid, Jimmy.
What you mean?
You look stupid.
No, like if we
did you say he said something about have a peaceful what? Protest. Okay, so excuse me for saying right. I meant protest. So let's have a peaceful protest. Yeah, you can say those words. That's just like putting on clothes. You just simultaneously do it. You can say those words, but because of what you said before and after you said that is what riled those people up to go do what they did that they shouldn't have done.
Because once again, we're talking about what? Influence. Right.
That's exactly what
he has some influence.
He has a lot of influence on a lot of people.
Yes. Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
So, and with that influence, the riot happened. So because of that influence, you have to blame him in some sense.
Okay, there's a difference. There's a difference between you, the media, and some of these other guys saying, hey, you have to blame him, instead of you guys saying, hey, Trump has some accountability here, but we also need to hold this group accountable as well. But the media never says anything like this. And I'm not just saying this for Trump. There's other things that needs to be talked about that's going on in the country and in the world that they're just like, there's even things that they're blaming Nancy Pelosi for when it's not really her fault. You know what I'm saying? It's other people that's involved when they need to hold everybody else accountable, just as accountable as her. Like, this is my whole point. It's just the truth. What's the truth of the fact? You know what I'm saying? It's not about this person, that person. What's the truth in this? You know what I'm saying? We need to hold the media accountable. We need to hold the people accountable. Trump is accountable as well. And also all of the other politicians. As you go down the line, as Mr. Adrian loves when I say, you got all the stuff in the past that no one was held accountable for. But now I guess it hit its boiling point. Listen, you can't sweep that stuff under the rug, bro. You gotta, hey, I'm gonna hold y'all accountable too, because y'all started this. Y'all didn't start it, but y'all had some influence and some y'all partook in this too.
Right.
Everybody.
Oh, go ahead, Adrian.
No, I was gonna say I understand what you're saying as far as the influence, like because that there was a lot of rioting and stuff going on before that it made it easier for these people to come out and do it this time. I understand 200%. What you're saying when it comes to that, but that's still not taken away from the fact that it was called by the leader of the nation for these people to come out at this particular time. So you just had I don't think he planned for it to happen like that, but I just think it it just happened. And so because it was mentioned in his speech and whatnot that the blame in this particular time, this particular situation, the blame can be pointed at him. And I personally would agree with pointing some of the fingers at him in this particular situation. There are a lot of other things that they try to blame him for that I completely disagree with. But in this particular situation, I just, the facts that I've been reading is just, like you said, there was little to no resistance. The police or the National Guard, 4 hours. I think there was maybe 2 or 4 hours late getting there, or you know what I'm saying. It was just this.
And that crap don't happen on accident.
Right. We already know it's an inside job. So the reason it was if it was an inside job, who's over it? Who's over it? Ultimately, I feel like, because he had to have some type of hand in it for it to go the way it did. Otherwise, he would have been like, yo, make sure we got a lot of security there. Make sure we got this going on there. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody would have did that. You know what I'm saying? Because the people is showing up, but he assumed that is his people and they're not going to protest the same way as the other people protest because the other party is a little bit more violent or whatever the situation is. So we don't have to worry about that, but
absolutely.
Of course you don't have to worry about it when they let you in,
Right.
If all the people that was rioting at some of the stores, if the stores was just open and say, hey, come in and get what you want, it would have been less damage done. They just would have walked in there and got whatever they wanted. So
peacefully, without no struggle, you just walk in and grab what you want. I mean, just to piggyback off of what Jimmy said. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
No, I was just about to say, I do think it was crazy that all them people got to walk out in that place and go home. I thought that was crazy.
But no, FBI going to get all of them.
Yeah, the FBI.
No, you're right. No, they're going to get them, but it's crazy that they got to walk away from it.
Oh, you talking about
them people at that moment when they broke into that place, as they was walking out, they should have been handcuffed.
Yeah, I totally
agree. Them people got to
that.
go home and do whatever they please, and then they got the call saying, "Hey, man, I think you got to come in and now you got to go to jail." No, they should have went to jail as soon as they started breaking the windows and entering that place.
Did you see one of the dudes that they got? He from Paris. He was holding that.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah, but he going down the mystery, man. That's classic. But you got to go to jail. But the thing is, like, he shouldn't have been able to make it all the way back to Florida and then go to jail.
Yeah, they should have. A lot of those people should have been put in cuffs at the scene of the crime. That's usually what happens when you're committing something like that. You get handcuffed right away. Yeah. But just to piggyback on what Jimmy said earlier about holding people accountable, like I said earlier, I don't hold Trump 100% accountable of it, because people's actions, when you do something, you got to be held accountable for it. Those people should be held accountable for rioting and intruding on a place of this nation that shouldn't have even been intruded on. So that's just what I wanted to piggyback off of what Jimmy said. But
I just say get love.
So let me add a little twist, because I've heard a lot, and I'm sure y'all have heard some of these comments too. Like, if it was a group of minorities, that it would have been a completely different situation.
Oh yeah.
What y'all think about that?
I gotta agree with it.
I mean, honestly,
I would disagree. Go ahead, Nick.
I would hate to agree with that. I understand why people would say that. I mean, when I look at the situation that happened, I honestly would like to say those people, who tried to protect the Capitol or whatever, I would like to say they did their job. They came out of there, honestly. I mean, they did lose a body, but all in all, too many people didn't get hurt. I mean, I'm naive or whatever, but I would like to say they did their job, and they did it to the best of their ability. I mean, granted, all the people, I guess, that was supposed to be there to protect the building wasn't there, but I feel like even if they was there, I mean, it still would they still would have came out honestly the same way. So I mean, honestly, I would like to think they did their job, rather than to say if it was a group of minorities, they would have had more bodies or anything like that.
Yeah,
I would say, what if we take? I would say, what if we take all of the exact same situations, but just no, I'm talking about at the riot. Can we still say the same thing if we take the exact same situation where the building wasn't covered, it wasn't guarded, and you put blacks there instead of the Caucasians? What? And instead of the Caucasians being there rioting, put blacks there.
I see what
the building wasn't being guarded. There was nobody there. Could we still say that? Could that question still be asked?
Didn't you just say the same thing that I said?
No, you said that somebody said the question that's asked if that was blacks would have been shot and all that stuff or killed.
Would the outcome be different? Meaning would the outcome be different? Meaning, would there be more harsh reactions toward the minorities? You know what I'm saying? Like, would it be, because would it be like more bodies, more people arrested, more people beat, or stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Would it just be a more harsh penalty that they've happened if it was minorities that was at that gathering and going into the building versus who was there?
Yeah, it'll probably be more harsh penalties. Let's find out what the penalty is for the people who they got.
No, we don't know each penalty. We just talking about the overall what happened. People, just like you guys mentioned,
I think we
went home and got phone calls that, hey, you need to come in.
I think we would have had harsh penalties. I do.
See? So
I see what Jimmy's saying, because if we take Caucasians out of the situation and blacks was there, African Americans was there, and there was still no security, technically the same thing would have happened. You know what I mean? That's just my personal belief. If you just replace blacks with whites, they didn't have any security there. No security showed up at all. So the same thing would have happened. But now we're talking about where there be harsh penalties. I do believe it will be harsher penalties for minorities than it would be for Caucasians.
Yeah. So I guess the question would be, if it was minorities, would the proper people be in place to protect the building?
Right.
I would say yes, because if I found out that I don't know if it was the FBI or the CIA, they got word of this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're always watching people account, so they knew what was coming.
Right.
Yeah,
So
like I said,
think
it was a month before everything took place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they would have handled it differently, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it would have been more people though.
Oh, of course it would have been. But the National Guard would have been there again.
National Guard, they would have called people from the war, like, hey, we need y'all to come protect the Capitol. I'm telling you, that's what would have happened.
Because I really believe a lot of those people are like physically, I think like they are like scared of us. You know what I'm saying?
You think
of
so?
what we could do. I do.
No, I agree with you.
Obviously, it's hard to just switch because there's a lot of variables that's missing. Like you got to take, for instance, the age group that's there, the maturity, if it's businessmen, if it's not. So I know all that stuff plays a part. But me personally, I think it was because it was an inside job. The reason it went the way it did was because it was an inside job. So I don't think it really matters what color was there at that particular moment because it was an inside job. So I think the same thing would have happened if it was black or white or whatever, because of that fact that it was an inside job and there was little resistance. The people knew what they was there for and what they wanted to do. And so even the people that was there to protect the building knew what they was there for and what they wanted to do. And so it seemed like they was just letting people in. So I don't think it was, it would have been that much of a difference. But I do agree that, the penalties going forward will probably be, a little bit more harsh. I would like to believe otherwise, but, it does happen. So,
let's take a look at some of these comments. Let me see where we leave off at. Got a few of them here. This one right here, I believe my girl Sam put this up. She said she tried to put it up under her, but she said guilty by association. Watch what you say when you're a public figure of any kind.
Yeah.
And that's totally true. And this is what I try to tell a lot of people. And this could be why a lot of no, I wouldn't say it can be why. This can be an influence, like we've been talking earlier, is that when you're in that position as a president, there's a certain standard you have to walk by. There's a certain standard that the people, Democrat and the Republicans, see that you have to be. And Trump is his own man. Hey, and I give it to Trump. When he say something, he stand by it. He walk with it.
Sometimes he's a blowhard too, though.
He is a blowhard. Yeah, I agree with that.
He's a blowhard, though.
He is a blowhard, but there's a certain standard to being a president that people expect for you to be and how you should carry yourself. And I totally agree with that comment.
Yeah,
you're a public figure. You have to hold yourself in a different standard than everybody else. And if you hold yourself in one of those standards like Trump do and has sometime, and I've seen Trump be very professional. Don't get me twisted on that. I've seen him be very professional. There's sometimes where I know Jimmy sent me some interviews that he's done where he's just been because of who he is, he's been handled disrespectfully and not handled fairly. But I gotta stand by the man when he say something, he stand by it. That's who he is. He don't sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? And be honest, that's how I was raised. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I stand by what I say. You can't be mad at a man doing that. But just from the public eye, as a president, you have to be held to a certain standard and held to that type of form.
But just to quickly, go ahead, bro.
No, it's gonna be short. For the whole time Brandon was talking, he was talking about public figure and all that. All I could hear in my back of the head was when Chuck said, "I am not."
Yeah.
And maybe being the leader of the free world, you gotta have some kind of composure about yourself or whatever. But it's just everybody doesn't want to be looked at like that. But like I said, when you're the president, you got to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to be.
Ahead,
I agree.
Just what Brandon said. I forgot my train of thought, man. Yeah, Tuck threw me off. That was a good one. Tuck threw me off. Oh, okay. You talking about as a president, as a leader, you have to handle yourself accordingly.
Right.
I agree with that. But for this one, for this one instinct, I really, really like the fact that, because I deleted my Twitter, but when this man became president, I got my Twitter back on now, and I followed him. So
of course you did.
Right.
Because I love the fact, I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, but I really like it because on his Twitter sometimes he puts stuff up that's going on behind closed doors that we as Americans, no one ever tells us. You know what I'm saying? And we never get the full story. But even though this is his story, but he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in talks with this person and that person about this and about that." I kind of like knowing some of that information. You know what I'm saying? Especially
That's
like,
Twitter?
Huh?
That's why you open back up your Twitter?
Yeah.
To follow the man. To
Follow
his.
Be messy with the man.
but yeah, I like some of the stuff that he put on there saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm talking to this person, we talking about this, talking about that." It's like some of that stuff that was behind closed doors, he brought it to the light so that we can see what's going on. And I like that. I like that. Especially that you work as
some of the stuff that was happened in front of everybody, he kept closed doors. He didn't come out and address.
But like I said before, when you're dealing with people, you pick and choose. People pick and choose what they want to put out, what they want to, you know what I'm saying?
I think
it doesn't make them right or wrong.
President Trump reminded me of Kyrie Irving.
I want to hear this.
Explain that, Adrian.
Kyrie has all the tools, right? All the tools to take your team to a championship. But character and thought process is different. And so I think he just was a different personality wise. He had the tools needed to help and to run the country and to do stuff that to make things happen, because he did a lot of good stuff. But the leadership and character type, I don't think he was really didn't have a personality for that, and that was just made it difficult for him. Whereas what I'm saying, if you compare him to like Obama and the previous presidents, they was very charismatic. They could get on and talk and just kind of say, hey, this is a time we need to come together and we need to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have that personality trait, or they don't have that gifting to be able to bring people together like LeBron James. LeBron James is a great leader. You know what I'm saying? But he has, obviously, LeBron James is not perfect. He has character flaws as well. But however, when it comes to his work, he know how to bring people together and do what's necessary. And so I think that was just it's just my personal perspective, a part that he was missing that I looked for. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he did a great job, and he would continue to do a great job. But when it came to bringing the people together, for the stuff that was happening, I don't think he had the strong enough personality, or I don't know what it was. I don't
think he could rally the troops just like Kyrie.
Yeah, exactly. I even thought about doing it myself. Maybe the 10 people would read my speech or something that maybe it'll help those 10 people. But you know what I'm saying?
But even in that, I think that's beautiful, because it kind of puts ownership back on us as a community to be there for each other. To be there for each other, you know what I'm saying? Because like you say, he can't rally the troops, but for us to be there for each other and strengthen each other, and we can rally ourselves in our community locally.
Yeah, but you have to have a leader to start that. I mean, even if you would have just mentioned that, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I just, some of the things that I was looking for that I know, like we've had other presidents that had to deal with certain situations like rioting or police brutality or all these other things. And they wasn't shy when it came to addressing it specifically letting the people know that, hey, we need to be peaceful. We need to come together. We need to, it's not a time that we need to be fighting with each other. I think the problem was that during this time, it was the election. And again, it's just my personal perspective. It was the election time. And so during that election time, you want to keep your votes. And so if you kind of, teeter and make it look like you're, agreeing with these people or supporting these people at the same time, then you might lose people on this side. And then if you be too much over here, you might lose people on this side. So I think because we're in that in the election year that year, that he just really couldn't come out and just say, hey, let's all come together. And that, or maybe you could, again, that was just weird to me, because I was looking for that, and then, or maybe he did, and then the media just, snuffed it out, and we just never really got to hear it or see it or any of those things.
Right.
So
I hear you. I'm with you.
I totally agree with it.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I think we got one more comment here. Another one from Henry. It's the American way for one person to take all the blame, but the reality of everyone there has to be accountable for their actions. It ain't one person's fault. Yeah,
I love America, but a lot of stuff.
What'd you say, Jimmy?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I love America. I think we're highly blessed to live in this country with all the freedom and things that we have. When you
Absolutely.
Look at what other people are going through. But
absolutely.
Just like with any other nation, and it's just like a family. You know what I'm saying? You know it's a good family, but you got certain areas in that family where it's jacked up. It need to be fixed and corrected.
Absolutely.
All that comes with time.
Speaking while you were drawing.
Say what?
I said all that comes with time.
Yeah, but I agree. Like it seems pretty easy for a lot of people to blame one person, for their situation, and it's unfortunate because we don't, and that's why a lot of people don't succeed as they should, is because they point the blame at somebody else and they never really take accountability for themselves and what they can do to make themselves better. So I mean, I agree. Once I stopped blaming other people and started blaming myself for whatever situation I'm in, it made my life a lot easier, and it and even my path to success of being successful became a lot more easier for me, because if a person wasn't doing what I needed them to do or helping like I wanted them to do, then it's my fault that I need to make a different plan. I need to put a different plan together so that I don't need this person, or I can find a better support person. So either way it goes, it's comes down to the individual.
Absolutely. It's all about the individual. It's all about holding your own self accountable for what you're doing. Adrian, you just made a huge point. Once you stop blaming everybody else and pointing the finger at everybody else, and you start looking at yourself as a problem or a cause, then things would be a lot different. And honestly, things would be a lot different in this whole world if you stop blaming everybody else for what's going on.
Yeah,
right.
So, but let's look and see if we got any more comments. I know Howard's cleaning. Said, "What's up, gentlemen? What's good?"
That's me and Adrian's other brother that we started the Impact together. Me, him, Adrian, all three of us started together.
We gotta get him on the show, man. We gotta get him on the show. Actually, we gotta get him on the show. But this was a great conversation today, fellas. It was fantastic.
Man, I wish Dante could have got on here.
I just asked if Dante was getting on, but I know Dante got some prior engagements. You keep striving, brother. If you're still watching, you keep striving, and shout out to LB. Wish he could have been here as well. You keep striving, brother. We had a few people that didn't make it today, but that's cool. We're gonna have plenty more lives with plenty more podcasts, man. This was fantastic. Adrian, I really do appreciate you coming on, man, and giving us the knowledge and blessing us with your presence. We would love to have you back, not just for a live, but just for even a regular podcast we just put out.
Yeah, and get on some spades.
Hey man, we're gonna play spades on live, man.
We're gonna play spades.
No, we not, because ain't no cheating going on.
Oh,
No, we
Oh, you
not.
said that?
No, we ain't playing on live because ain't no cheating going on. We're gonna be in the same room with everybody.
No, that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna be in the same room and we're gonna put up a camera. Yeah.
Adrian, Jimmy, your partner.
Bam, teach you how to smack.
Hold on, what you just said about me?
I said Adrian, Jimmy is your partner.
Y'all gotta wait till I get back down for y'all to do that, man. I need to be a part of that.
All right, fellas. So listen, I gotta go. I appreciate you guys having me on. I got my 12 o'clock is here, so I gotta get ready for them, man.
Hey, real quick,
Nick, a lot of fun, man. Anytime you want, let me know.
Absolutely.
Nick said, "Where can you get the merch from, Adrian?"
Oh yeah. It's gonna be on the website pretty soon, but I get you. All I got to do is just get in contact with Jimmy. Let him know your size, the shirt size.
You know he got the inside loop. You know.
26 bucks, man. 26 bucks.
I like that. That's fine. I like that. With the king. I like that. So, well, thank you, Adrian. We appreciate you, man. We'll definitely get back with you. And we definitely want to have you back on. This was a great experience, a great podcast, and we just thank you for blessing us today, brother.
Thank you guys. I was blessed.
It, bro.
I'm out.
All right. To everybody else, that we want to thank y'all for watching. Everybody that stuck with us the whole hour, almost 2 hours of our discussion. This is.
And who said it was going to be 3 hours long?
Let's not talk about
that.
We're gonna throw no names.
Talk about it behind stage.
But we want to thank y'all for watching, man. Like Jimmy said earlier, please like, subscribe, comment, hit our YouTube up. We just got a Facebook page. Hit that reminder button so when we go live, y'all are reminded when we finna hit the set. We got plenty more content for y'all coming soon. Nate showing them Iversons and them Hardens.
Yeah, them Harden. If Reebok can continue to make stuff like this, they can get my money.
They get my money too. But we want to thank everybody that joined. We had a comment today. Melly said, "God bless you guys. Have a great productive day. You do the same."
You as well.
Thank you for blessing us with your comments today. Thank everybody for blessing us with your comments, showing support. This is something that we started just out of conversation because we have these general conversations between ourselves anyway. So we just want to broadcast it to the world and see you guys' outtakes. It's nothing that we want to say that we're right on or wrong on. This is just it's a family discussion. We all brothers in this situation, and we strive together. We ride together. So if anybody else got anything to say, please add before we lock it up.
Hey man, it was a good episode, man. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait for many more. I can't wait to get Uncle O on here, man.
Yeah, we need Uncle O. We need Uncle O on here because we need to see these disputes, Jimmy and Uncle O.
Yeah, we gotta be ready for that one. We gotta be ready for
that one will definitely go live on. But I know a lot of us got some prior engagements that's finna get ready to go down. So everybody please have a blessed day. You guys stay safe. And this is Family Talk. I am B.
Chef Jimbo.
Nick is out of here, but I'm Nate.
And we love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace.